Welcome to Mahalia e-learning. This is Soumya here. Today we are going to see chapter 3 scoping. Let us see introduction to variable scope with an example. Consider a project. A project consists of many modules. Each modules are developed by different programmers. So we can't tell each programmer may use different variables or function name. They may use similar, but there is no confusion in the program running because of the visibility we have given in the program. So let us see definition for variable scope. The scope of a variable is that the part of the code where it is visible. That means we are going to restrict the variable where it should be visible and not. And then the scope refers to the visibility of variables, parameter and functions. So we are going to restrict variables, parameter and functions from one part of the program to the another part. Example for variable scoping. See here you can see a main function and it consists of variable a equal to 40. Then int function 2 b equal to 10 and function 3 c equal to 30. So here you can see a is a variable. The variable is visible for function 2 and function 3 because the visibility is available till the function end, and you can see the function to b is not visible in our main function because its visibility starts here and ends here, so it is not visible for main function. So the b is available only in function 2 and it is available in function 3 also, because it is called as enclosed scope, because it a function contains another function, it's called as a enclosed scope. Here you can see function 3, so c equal to 30. So c is a variable that is called as a local variable. It is visible only in function 3 because the scope starts here and ends here. Mapping. Let us see definition for mapping. The process of binding a variable name with the object is called mapping. That is, you are going to map a variable name with the object. So here you have an example. A is a variable and 10 is an object. You are going to map using a symbol called, that is a operator called equal to. That is in C or C++, what you will do, the value will be stored in the variable, but here we are going to just map the value. We are not going to store the value in a variable. Namespaces. Start with the definition. Namespaces are containers for mapping names of variable to object. That is, let us take a dictionary. A dictionary have many words with meaning. The same thing, the namespace will have variables with objects. That's it. Let us see an example. Here you have two statements, a equal to 5 and b equal to a. That is, here you have an example. A maps 5 and B also maps 5 because here we don't have separate memory location for A and B. These two variables are mapping the same value called 5 because A equal to 5 and B equal to A. So the value of A will be mapped by B. Extension of the previous statement. Here you can see a equal to 5, b equal to a and a equal to 3. In our last statement, a and b both have been mapped the only value called 5. Now, a is mapping 3 because we have added a statement called a equal to 3. So, but b is mapping 5 because our statements ends here. B statement is end here. If we added any other statement b equal to a, now our b also maps 3. LEGB rule. LEGB rule is actually used to decide the order in which the scopes are to be searched. So LGB is nothing else. L for local, enclosed, global, and built-in. Here you have an image for LGB. So here you can see the local scope, that is whatever you have defined or initialized in the local scope only visible in local, which is not visible in any other function. So next is enclosed scope, that is a function contains another function, that is called enclosed scope. And then global is out of all the functions you are going to define. And then built in. So it may be a library function or anything else that is called as built in. Types of variable scope. So you here you have four types of variable scope. First, let us see local scope. Variables defined in current function. That is, whatever you have defined, the variables whatever defined in your current function, which is available only in that scope. You can't use it outside. And then let us see global scope. Variables declared outside of all the functions. So it is visible for our entire program. Enclosed scope, that is a function contains another function. So the outer functions, variables or anything else which is available for inner function also. Then built in, any variable or module which is defined in the library function of a programming language. It is called as a built. Let us see example. Here you have defined three variables, that is a equal to 0, b equal to 1 and c equal to 2. So here a is a global variable because which is not inside any function. So it is visible for all the functions you have defined in the program. Then you have a next function called outer and it contains a variable called b. So the b is visible for inner function also. That's why it is called as enclosed scope. And here you have a function called inner and it has a variable c equal to 2. So the variable c only visible in inner scope, which is not visible for any other functions in a program. So this is called local scope and this is called enclosed scope and this is called global scope. Module. So I have already explained you what is a module. A module is nothing else. A single program have multiple modules. You are going to split a single program into multiple programs. So then finally you are going to compose into one. A single module can contain one or more several statements closely related each other. So a single module may contain many statements. Characteristics of module. So a module contains actually instruction, processing logic and data. So the main advantage of module is separately compiled and stored in a library. And then modules can be included in a program whenever we are needed. And then module segments can be used by invoking a name. If we need any segments or anything else, we can invoke that particular segment using its name. So that is not compulsory where we should use a segment in a particular module. We can use many segments and many modules also. Let us see benefits of using modular programming. First is less code to be written. So if you have many functions that you want to use in many modules, you need not to write it again and again. You can just call the function what you want and then you can reuse the same thing. And then the programmers can be designed very easily because it is a module. So many programmers will collaborate in program, then stored across multiple files. It is very short, simple and easy to develop. And the next benefit is error can easily be identified because each modules are developed separately and you can compile each the module separately. So error can be easily identified. Same code can be used in many application. So you can see many applications are upgrading or updating day by day, day to day. They need not to write the programs again and again. They are just going to attach a module or a piece of program in it. That's it. That is called updating or upgrading. Access control, that is, you are going to control the access of a variable or function in a particular program. So the control this access, you are going to use access specifiers called private, protected and public. Public is default here in our Python. And then I'm going to explain these three visibilities, that is private, protected and public. Private is nothing else the variables or function which is defined in our program as a private is not visible for any other classes or program. And then protected, protected is nothing else the variable or function which is defined in the base class. The derived class functions can use the variables or function in the base class. And then public is nothing else the variables or function you have defined as public is visible for all the program or entire program. So in our Python, to define a private variable or function you have to use a underscore. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.